What day of the week is the 18th of September 2015? You'd probably need your diary or calendar to work it out, but with the technique you're about to learn, you'll be able to do that in your head faster than it would take you to find your diary. The calendar is something that I taught during my memory courses. It's fairly easy to learn, and yes, you can know the entire year's calendar without looking at a calendar, diary, phone or iPad. So why would you want to know how to do this? Well, here's a couple of reasons why. One, you don't have a calendar available to you when you want to know a date, or you just like a mental challenge. It's quite easy to do, but you're going to need about 30 minutes. So if you don't have time now, you might want to come back later on, but otherwise, we'll get started with step one. You need to think about what each month of the year reminds you of. This is important to help you remember. The month needs to be something you can imagine, visualize or picture. But let's look at step two as well. Each month is assigned a number from 1 to 7. Some months share the same number. So let's get to the months and their numbers and learn them. Look at January and think, why is that meaningful to you? It could be your birthday, it's New Year's Day, it could be Australia Day or the Venice Carnival, and you need to relate the number 6 to it. So maybe it's a celebration and you've got a 6-pack of something. So January and 6. Make sure that you pause at the end of each month and think about the month and the number. In this case, January is 6. Don't go to February until you know January. What does February remind you of? Valentine's Day is probably the most obvious, but you might think of something else. The number for February is 3. So the image here shows 3 hearts, reminding us of Valentine's Day and putting those with February. Remember to pause. We're going to actually skip March, we'll come back to it. Now let's look at April. April could be Easter, most of the time it is in April. Think about 7 Easter eggs in April because we want the number 7 for April. 7 Easter eggs. Look at the image and pause again and practice. June kind of cuts the year in half, and the number we want is the number 2 for June. Or maybe you think of Wimbledon and that there's 2 finalists in the championship. But the calendar is probably better. June, cut in half, it's the number 2, pause and practice. Okay, we've skipped July and actually we skipped May as well, but we'll come back to them. August, awesome, the number is 4. Think of August as awesome, foursome, August and 4. Pause and practice. September is the first month of spring or fall, depending on which hemisphere you're in, and I think it's an easy way to remember that September is the number 1. September, the first month of spring or fall. Oktoberfest doesn't always fall in October, at least often it's a little bit in September, but let's forget that. Let's just say that it does fall in October. Oktoberfest, and it's number 6, and a picture, a 6-pack of beer, off to the Oktoberfest and celebrating. In Australia, we think of November as the Melbourne Cup. So imagine having a trifecta, and that's the number 3 goes with November. It could also be Thanksgiving in the USA, and you might think of being thankful for 3 things in November. Remember to pause and practice. December's pretty easy. I mean, it's Christmas around the world for a lot of people. For some it's not. So you might like to think that Christmas comes but once a year. But if you prefer, you can think of December being the first month of summer or winter. And December is the number 1. You'll have noticed that we missed 3 months, March, May and July. Well, they happen to be the month that they represent. March is 3, May is 5 and July is 7. Okay, let's review. December, Christmas comes 1 time per year, December and 1. September, 1 grand final winner, or it's the first month of spring. October, celebrating the Oktoberfest with a 6-pack of beer. April, 7 Easter eggs, 7 and April. January, celebrating with a 6-pack. June, cuts the year in half. It's 2. November, winning the Melbourne Cup in November with a 1, 2, 3, getting the trifecta. August, awesome, foursome, August and 4. February is 3 hearts. Valentine's Day in February, and the number 3. So January 6, February 3, March 3, April 7, May is 5, June is 2, July is 7, August is 4, September is 1, October is 6, November is 3, and December is 1. Here's a way to practice. Get a piece of paper, write the months down the left-hand side. Then go through, and you could do them by writing the 1s and the 2s and 3s, etc., or do them in order, whatever you like. And once you've written all the numbers in, keep checking that you know them. Then you could cover it over with a piece of paper and do it again and again and again. A couple more things we need to think about. 1 whole week equals 7 days, 2 whole weeks is 14 days. You know this. But now practicing removing whole weeks from a figure. So if it was 8 days, it would be 1 week and 1 day, but we would think of it as just 1 day. 27 days would be 3 weeks and 6 days, just 6 days. 15 days, 2 weeks and 1 day, 1 day. Practice going through that on those dates on the screen. The good news is that once you've learnt the 12 months and their number, they will never change. January will always be 6 and December will always be 1. There's only one other thing we need to learn, and that's coming up next, but this might be a good time to take a break and practice.